The pitch probably at its best in the whole game, and not a cloud in the sky, as Jeff Dimmock came in to bowl the first ball of the day to Joel Garner. The West Indies overnight total 8 for 303. In the commentary box, Tony Cozier and Frank Tyson.
Garner is the batsman, and he's off the mark right away. Flicked it away, hit it pretty hard too. That's 4 runs. Ball just going to carry it to the boundary. Not quite, but they'll run all 4 anyhow. It's a long boundary out there, and Garner wasting no time. And Australia must know that this man is dangerous, because in the 2 innings he's played against them so far this season, he's had scores of 60 in Brisbane and 24 in Melbourne. And he's got that away beautifully as well. That's going to be 4 more runs into the fence this time. It'll go all the way. So Joel Garner has started in the most emphatic manner possible with 2 boundaries, or should I say 2 fours. He's got that beautifully off the toes, Garner has. Batsman going to get 2 here, and a bit of fumbling down at fine leg. They're going to come for the 3rd run. That's good running by Michael Holding. Does take Garner away from the strike, but good-looking shot there by Garner, who's played pretty well so far this morning. He's raced to 15, and the West Indies are now 8 for 315. That's a beautiful shot by Holding. 4 runs, beautifully played off the toes. Certainly a shot of which many of his more illustrious teammates would have been proud.
These are valuable runs.
Lilly will continue now to Garner, who's got 16. And the tactics here suggesting that we could be in for some excitement in these dying stages of the West Indies innings. And he's caught. Second slip by Hughes. Garner caught Hughes. A good catch off the bowling of Lilly. Lilly's 5th wicket, and the West Indies are 9 for 326.
Well, that was a very good catch indeed. Very quick reaction there on the part of Kim Hughes. Notice how he comes across to his left. A fairly thick, substantial edge. Hughes coming across to his left, falling in front of Greg Chappell's feet as he completes the catch. Good reaction. Good catch. Good piece of cricket. The only thing at fault there, probably this stroke from Joel Garner, who followed that ball slightly, sliced it pretty quickly, but produced that result in the 2nd slip position. So exit Joel Garner, and the total 9 for 326.
Bowled him. That's the end of the West Indies innings. Pascoe has got his consolation wicket, and Holding bowled Pascoe 9. The West Indies all out for 328. So there they are, West Indies all out for 328. They resume today at 8 for 303. Some hitting from Garner and Holding, but a total there which is their lowest in the 3 completed innings they've had for the season. In the Test, 328. And Dennis Lilly leads Australia off the field, having taken 5 wickets for 78.
We pick up play now in the 6th over of the Australian innings. Michael Holding is the bowler, Laird is on strike, and in the commentary box with me is Keith Stackpole.
Runs behind square leg. Owen Croft, fieldsman. Through to Bruce Laird, moving into double figures. Must be very close to a wide. Don't think it's quite hot enough here today just yet for that floppy white hat. Beautiful day here. Anxious look back then. Change of pace by Andy Roberts. The
matches between West Indies and Australia started in 1930-31 with Australia winning, and West Indies won in 51-2, 2 draws, and then Australia won in 75-6.
Because Richie, you were captain of one of those thrilling draws then, when just been biting the nails with Slasher Mackay and Lindsay Klein.
Joel Garner. And it's beaten the man backing up, Colin Croft, and gone for 4 overthrows. 21 on the board as Weiner faces Michael Holding.
It's in the air. It's produced 2 runs for Julian Weiner. Desmond Haynes, good return from him.
First wicket, and Desmond Haynes at short leg picks up a sharp catch. Weiner just pushing away defensively at Michael Holding. 1 for 23 Australia, with Weiner caught Haynes, bowled Holding for 3. Laird is 17.
Beginnings not forthcoming today, but good delivery from Michael Holding, digging it in at the ribs of Julian Weiner, and a good sharp catch by Desmond Haynes. Good catch, good sharp catch. 1 for 23.
Straight away, not in very convincing fashion. Outside edge past Joel Garner, but he's away for 2, 17 to Laird, 1 for 25.
Since the days of Bill Laurie and Bobby Simpson, we really had a good opening batting duo, and Ian Chappell was first wicket most of those times. That's the one he gets into trouble on. Whether to go for the hook shot or whether to defend. Good delivery that from Andy Roberts. Just going with it. Didn't know exactly where it went. Beautiful delivery, that one from Andy Roberts.
In fact, I'd go so far as to say he didn't have the slightest idea where it went. It's gone. A good catch, a good delivery too from Andy Roberts. Greenwich at second slip. And a fine catch that. Australia now 2 for 26. Ian Chappell caught Greenwich, bowled Roberts for 2. Laird is on 18. Greenwich just in the top left-hand corner of your picture.
Listen, what good bowling by Andy Roberts. That unsettling ball, the previous one, and that one then tentatively Ian Chappell just pushing at it, getting the edge, and a good catch by Gordon Greenwich. Great bowling by Andy Roberts. Ian Chappell just playing from the crease, getting an edge, and a pretty straightforward catch there for the joyful Gordon Greenwich. So Australia in trouble now, 2 for 26.
And he's gone. First ball. Roberts is on a hat-trick. Great bowling from the West Indian speedster. That was a perfectly pitched bouncer. The Chappell's gone with successive balls. Andy Roberts has done it for the West Indies. And what delight there is in the faces of all the fielding side.
So Andy Roberts now on a hat-trick, and what a great delivery that one is. Ball similar to the one that got Ian Chappell out. Greg Chappell fending it off. A nice, simple catch for Joel Garner in the gully.
And there's the great Sir Donald Bradman. Looks as if he's wearing a West Indies touring tie there. That's certainly the colours of the West Indies tie. And I assume that he would have had many given to him over the years. He's talking there to Peter Lush, the public relations officer for the Test and County Cricket Board in England.
The last hat-trick in Adelaide was Lance Gibbs. In fact, I stood at the other end and watched it. No better place to be when there's a hat-trick on. Andy Roberts now. The last ball of his 6th over. No field change. Oh, what a good ball. And a little half smile there from Max O'Connell. Always appreciative of good bowling. Indeed, that was. 2 for 12 in 6 overs, 1 maiden.
What a great delivery this one was. Kim Hughes letting it go, just moving off the wicket. Just a couple of inches in it.
Oh, that's a good delivery there. Ball just straightening up on the seam. Hughes nearly played. Yorker and hitting straight down the ground. Beautifully timed by Kim Hughes. Good delivery aiming at middle and leg. Picks up 3 runs. It was well played. A very dangerous ball, but waited for the ball to come onto the bat and punched it down the ground.
That's a beautiful shot from Kim Hughes. Off the back foot. A little bit short outside the off stump. Fetch that. 4 runs.
Well, just 4 runs added to that, 3 for 44, to take the Australians on to 3 for 48 at lunchtime. And what a torrid morning it was for them. The West Indian fast bowlers really got stuck into them, gave them an awful time, and Roberts was so unlucky to miss that hat-trick with the ball that just shaved Kim Hughes' stumps as it went through. Here's the first over after lunch. The Australians still 3 for 48. It's Colin Croft bowling to Kim Hughes, and your commentators Tony Cozier and Tony Greig.
A ball by Croft there, a little bit of anxiety for Hughes. Well bowled, that was a great delivery by Garner. Lifted beautifully, gets applause from Derek Murray. Fast Holdings right hand. And the batsman get 2 here. So the first runs after lunch carries the Australian score to 50, 3 for 50. And Laird has got exactly half those runs. He's 25.
Hughes on 16, 4 sundries.
He's got that away. Perhaps didn't hit the meat of the bat, but goes all the way for 4 runs. Short outside the off stump, and Hughes so good off the square cut. And that was a good one. Very good bouncer there from Garner, and it had Hughes ducking very quickly.
It certainly was, and had he stood still, that would have hit him square in the side of the head.
Oh, that's a good shot. That's 4 runs. Well played by Hughes. That's the 3rd boundary he's had from the square cut off Garner already. And that was certainly one of the best. Beautifully played. Carries him on to 31 at the end of the over. Australia now 3 for 70. That's the 50 partnership between these 2 batsmen. Only 65 minutes, so it's been a good positive response to a crisis by them. Hughes 31, Laird 34. And Australia, having been 3 for 26, are now 3 for 76. And that could be out. He'll have to pull up the stump. Appeal for a run out there, but getting home. Now what happened there was the ball was pushed back along the pitch. The bails came off. Hughes running through.
I'll have a look at that from another angle. Roberts coming in there very quickly. Of course, Hughes at this stage, a long way out of his ground. And he might well have been out had Roberts been able to get that ball in his hand and pull the stump out with it in his hand.
Well bowled by Croft, came around the wicket there, altered the angle. And that's out, caught by Lloyd, first slip, Croft coming around the wicket, and the first delivery that Hughes has faced from him coming around the wicket, he's edged straight into the lap of Clive Lloyd at first slip. So Croft's ploy there, paying dividends.
Well, a good bit of thinking and a fine bit of bowling. Ball pitched just outside off stump. A big edge as the ball goes across the bat, and Clive Lloyd juggling with it a little bit, but making the catch. And the end of a very vital partnership. There's the nick. Those big hands of Clive Lloyd. The ball bobbles around up against his chest, and a great bit of bowling by Colin Croft. So a fine innings too by Kim Hughes, who walks off the ground now. Caught Lloyd bowled Croft for 34.
Slow ball which turned out to be a full toss. And Laird beats Kalacharan at cover. No ball called, so there'll be another ball in this over. That's his 50. Kalacharan, the man out at mid-off. Laird, a half-century out of a total of 4 for 102. A good, tough little competitor, Bruce Laird.
That's out, a magnificent catch. What a catch by Bird, Joel Garner in the gully. Laird hit that ball square like a rocket, and the big man thrust out his hands and took a magnificent catch. A ripper.
Well, look at this dismissal again. The ball wide of the off stump. Laird convinced of runs there, throwing his bat at it, and I think had it been a smaller man, then the old extension ladder would have been needed to have taken that catch, because the enormous arms of Garner went out to complete the dismissal. And the total now, Australia have lost 5 wickets for 110.
Clive Lloyd at first sweep. We have a second, third, fourth, and Garner at the wider of the gully position. The line of the West Indian attack has been so good that after 41 overs, Clive Lloyd can still employ 4 sweeps in the gully and a leg sweep for fast bowler Colin Croft. Good shot, 4 runs. Hit that beautifully forward a point. Confidence builder for Alan Border. A wicket taking over for Colin Croft in Australia are 5 for 115. Well, when he beats him, trying to push the ball down to mid-off, and the angle was there for Colin Croft, but not the outside edge. Well, Dennis Willey's padded up, and Australian manager John Edwards with a headache. I think he's got his hands to his head there. He's probably hoping for a big partnership here. Kim Hughes, the Australian vice-captain, and Dennis Willey suggesting that John Edwards might bat next. I suggest that Dennis Willey's never seen John Edwards bat. It's 5 for 120. And that's over the top. That's an intelligent shot. The ball was short and he hit it high over the 6. 4 runs. Well played, Alan Border. It's Colin Croft again. Batsman's Rodney Marsh. And that's out. Good delivery. A very tentative push from Rodney Marsh, not going either forward or back. And a vital breakthrough and good captaincy from Clive Lloyd. Just when we felt that he was tiring, he gets the ball to move off the seam.
And Derek Murray does the rest. Let's have a look at this again. And there's the delivery, a good delivery angle across Marsh. Marsh, as Bill Laurie said, just playing his crease, neither forward nor back, playing towards mid-on. A thick edge flies to Derek Murray, who, unsighted by Marsh's body, takes a fairly good and competent catch. So that's the 6th Australia wicket to fall, and the total is still only 127.
That's the last ball, and it's put away for 4 runs, and Venezuela goes to 4. And at tee, Australia are 6 for 132. That's Matt Weiner for 3, Red 52, Ian Chappell 2, Greg Chappell without scoring, Hughes 34, Alan Border not out 19, Marsh out for 5, Dennis Lilly not out 4. After 47 overs, Australia are 6 for 132.
Just 1 run added to take the Australian total on to 133 for 6. But in the second over after tea, Andy Roberts came in to bowl to Alan Border. Your commentators, Keith Stackpole and Tony Cozier.
Fine shot. That's where Alan Border is strongest. Square cut, put away. Very well indeed. 4 runs. Well, he's clobbered that. He hasn't even bothered to move. Really hit that ball very hard through the mid-on area. And a hell of a long chase here now for Alvin Kelly-Tran, but the ball will just get to the boundary, I think. It does. Saves Kelly-Tran the run. And I would reckon that Dennis Lilly lost a single by the fact that the ball went to the boundary, because they would have run 5 surely for that.
Tremendous heave-ho from Dennis Lilly. Not a great deal of movement in the feet.
And he's got it on the right glove. Certainly hurt him. Could be an injury here for Dennis Lilly on the right little finger, it looks like. Umpire O'Connell has very quickly come up.
It's a nasty delivery, this one. Dennis Lilly taking that bottom hand quickly off the bat, throwing it into the air.
So Dennis Lilly receiving treatment on the field there from the Australian physiotherapist. That pain-killing spray put on, with the Australian score 6 for 149. He's ready now. Here's Holding. One more to the score. Will be a leg by. Extras now move on to 14.
Dennis Lilly, a bit sorry for himself out there. Must have been a nasty, like that on the end of the finger, jammed it onto the bat.
But now they've got a situation where Dennis Lilly is injured, and he'll want to keep him away from the bowling. And he's cracked it for 4. No thought of a single there. Short outside the off stump. And Alan Border hammered it square for 4. So he moves on to 35, and it's now 6 for 155. It's in the air. There's a catch here for Haynes. He can't get it. It goes over his head. And the batsman will run 2 runs. Difficult catch here for Haynes to judge. Spiraled over his head, and the batsman got 2.
Slow ball, and Lilly, appreciating the full toss, beats Kelly-Tran through extra cover. And an interesting point is that this is the 57th over, and the Australians are 6 for 164. At exactly the same time yesterday, in the 57th over, the West Indians were 4 for 160. So the run rate is around about the same. It's just a question of whether or not someone can do what Clive Lloyd did yesterday. And Desmond Haynes. Yes, good catch that. Running away to his right. Lilly is out. Caught Haynes while holding for 16. Border is 38 not out. It's 7 for 165. Partnership there took the score from 127 on to 165.
Well, that's the ball Richie Benno was talking about. Outside off stump, and that play from Dennis Lilly, and Brisbane Haynes made some ground there. That was a fine catch. Stretched hands and very well caught. So another blow to Australia as Lilly departs out for 16, 7 for 165.
Find Roberts with 16 overs, Holding with 15, Garner with 14 and Croft with 18. Vivian Richards only bowling 2 free runs, but well used by Clive Ward, the West Indian skipper.
Yes, he hasn't killed anybody out there. He's just kept them going nicely.
And that's one of the best shots played by Alan Border. He picked the ball off his toes, beautiful, that's 4 runs. He's been struggling around there, but he really timed that to perfection. This is a man that's in danger, Dimmick, when they bowl around the wicket. They'll try and dig it in short to him. There's a short leg and a fine leg slip. And he's got it away. He's gone the big slash and got it away for 4 runs. The ball not on line. Colin Croft a little bit wide. That's in the air and it's out. Good bowling. It was always on when he went around the wicket to the left-handed batsman. It went straight to Lawrence Rowe in the finer of the 2 gullies, and Dimmick's out. Caught Rowe for 10.
You see Colin Croft run up much quicker. He didn't bowl the ball as quite as short as I thought he might do, but Jeff Dimmick certainly gave himself a bit of room. He backpedaled a bit. Anyway, that's the 8th wicket down for 188.
He works hard at his batting. He bats a lot in the nets. He's tall and likes to get onto the front foot, but just to me, appears to be always that fraction late. He's out. A magnificent catch by Lawrence Rowe. Mallet hitting square of the wicket, and Rowe throwing himself to his right. Took a magnificent catch, in my word. The West Indians are on fire.
Oh, what a great catch that was, moving away to his right and snatching that out of the air. And that's the 9th wicket down for Australia. Ashley Mallet playing a shot. Feet together, the ball away from, the bat away from his body. The ball in the air, and Lawrence Rowe snaffling that as it went by. And that's the 9th wicket going down for Australia.
And the West Indians have caught all batsmen today. 9 catches for 9 wickets, and Garner's 50th Test wicket. And there wouldn't be many better catches than that as Ashley Mallet departs without scoring. It's 9 for 189. And Border's got this away. It's a big hit. It could be 6. Oh, just bounces over the fence. And he goes to 52. Well played, Alan Border. He's really worked hard for his runs. 185 minutes and 50 out of 195 for 9. It's a great performance from a man who's been struggling in recent weeks in Test matches.
Let's see what Alan Border can do here with this last delivery. And in fact, he's got it through. And he only wants one, but Lenny Pascoe's going to come back. That brings up the 200, that 2 off that last delivery. 200 for 9.
Just 1 run added to the close of play to take the Australians on to 201 for 9. Still 127 behind that West Indies first innings total of 328. Fine innings from Alan Border. He stuck around there at the end to be 54 not out with Pascoe 5, 201 for 9. But my word, the Australians struggled there against that splendid pace bowling attack from the West Indies. They really did perform very well this afternoon. Roberts 2 for 43, Holding 2 for 31, Garner 1 for 43, and the star of the show, Colin Croft, who in 2 spells bowled 21 overs. He's a strong lad, 4 for 57 in those 21 overs. A fine performance. And in the interstate match down in Canberra, that's England against New South Wales, the score there is New South Wales made 7 for 212 declared, with Doug Walters scoring 62. England 4 for 53 in reply. The batsmen out: Boycott 2, Larkins no score, Gower 3, a top score of Gooch 28. Brearley is 13 not out. Young Jeff Lawson, who's a great prospect in the fast bowling department, has taken 2 for 29. Well, at the Adelaide Oval tomorrow, the Australians will start 127 in arrears, and my word, they have the job ahead of them against what surely must be one of the greatest bowling attacks the history of cricket has ever seen. Good night. Good evening. Welcome to the beautiful Adelaide Oval, and my word, it does look a picture today, with 15,000 people in at the start of play and more surging to get in through. Good evening. Welcome to the beautiful Adelaide Oval, and my word, it does look a picture today, with 15,000 people in at the start of play and more surging to get in through the turnstiles. Perfect conditions, a temperature around about 24, 25 degrees, and the ground in great nick, with the pitch just about at its best throughout this match. Out the background, just behind where our commentary box is, a beautiful little section of the Parks and Gardens alongside the Torrens River in Adelaide, and the Australians trying to battle their way through to pick up some extra runs in their first innings. Well, they didn't last very long, I'm afraid. They were 9 for 201 at the start of play, all out 203. Here's Roberts bowling to Alan Border.
Bowled him. Andy Roberts breaks through with a good delivery. Border trying to drive. He bowled him as clean as a whistle.
And that delivery from Roberts looked like a leg cutter to Border. Border misjudging the line, probably attempting to deflect a ball on leg stump, away on the leg side, looking for runs, hitting across it, and paying the penalty as that leg stump rocks back.
Well, Alan Border didn't add to his overnight 54 not out, and the total finished at 203, 125 behind, with Andy Roberts picking up that 1 wicket to fall today. Well, Dennis Lillee, you may remember, was injured yesterday when he was struck on the first joint of the second finger by a Michael Holding delivery, and there was some delay whilst he received attention. Well, that was badly bruised, that finger, and also cut. And on doctor's advice, he was to wear a bandage today on the field. The West Indies objected to that, quite rightly, they're entitled to do that, but the umpires overruled the objection, saying that they didn't think a bandage or a plaster would benefit Lillee in any way. Here he is now, bowling the first ball of the West Indies' second innings. Your commentators are Frank Tyson and Bill Lurry.
And immediately a run for West Indian side. Greenwich just pushing the ball to mid-wicket for single. That's thickish outside edge, but it could be 4 runs through the Seagulls, and the West Indians away again. They're prepared to throw the bat at the ball, not quite getting to the pitch, but the desired result, 4 runs.
There's Lillee. When you're bowling fast and you're swinging that right arm over very, very quickly, it does tend to throw the blood right to the end of your fingers. And there you can see Lillee flexing that finger on which he was hit by Michael Holding. There it is, bandaged.
Cheeky run on. Rodney Marsh throws, and Pascoe or Julian Weiner, who should have been backing up, failed to do so, and some very loose cricket by the Australian 11.
Yes, well, that was a justifiable move on the part of Rod Marsh.
In the background, the cathedral. St. Peter's Cathedral, which forms such a very impressive backdrop, and that's dropped. Very thick outside edge. Marsh going very long way to his right in front of first slip and putting it down.
Listen, Greg Chappell's catch Nelly, Rodney Marsh moving to the left and then coming back to the right. Had it in the glove and then putting it down. So it goes straight to the mid-drift of Greg Chappell, finding that outside edge. Greg Chappell behind it, just to the left of Greg.
Lillee's first ball. In fact, it wasn't his first ball. No ball signaled by umpire Max O'Connell. Pascoe. No ball, and hooked very well by Haynes, and it's gone all the way to 4 runs. Well fielded by Hughes at second slip. That ball really scooted off to his left along the ground, and a brilliant save. So that's the end of the over. It's now no wicket for 35.
Desmond Haynes has 23. And his partner down the other end, Gordon Greenidge, is on 14.
That's a lovely stroke. It to me is it was meant to be the slower ball, but it was very quickly seized on by Haynes. And that is gone. No doubt about that one. Quite straightforward. And that's twice in this match. Desmond Haynes has been dismissed from strokes that won't really be listed in his book of memories.
Well, Pascoe bowling there and benefiting from the good line he settled down to. That deflection there really going a long way, and Marsh making no mistake this time. 1 for 48. Vivian Richards, 2,812 runs at an average of 58. What a fantastic record that is.
Successive no balls. If I didn't know better, I'd think it was probably part of a plan to break Richards' concentration. Goodness me.
There it is, another no ball and another bouncer. Vivian Richards let that go and then played a little imitation shot once it had gone. And that's the trap that Len Pascoe set in conjunction with Greg Chappell, and he's bowled some bounces, but they've all been no balls.
You couldn't really say that the bowler hasn't been calling attention to the field placings. Vivian Richards is off the mark. I think they're having a bit of a conversation out there, Vivian and Leonard Pascoe. Lenny might have been having a few words with him. You've got to be a very good bowler to have a few words with a batsman as good as Vivian Richards. It's a great shot. Stroke. My reading of the situation out there is that Pascoe, in his excitement last over, chipped Richards about something. Whether it was the fact that he was being called for no balls and wasn't happy about it, or it was the fact that he was going to pin Richards to the side screen. And this should be the last ball coming up now before the luncheon interval. And it won't be the last ball before lunch because it's another no ball. Well, eventually Lenny Pascoe managed to bowl enough legitimate deliveries and that over to take the players out to lunch. But it was a very poor performance, I thought, from Pascoe. Overexcitement, and when Vivian Richards came in, they should have been attacking him with good common sense and pace bowling round about the off stump. 70 for 1 at lunch with Greenidge and Richards, the not-out batsmen. Greenidge batting extremely well. Here's the first over after lunch. It's Dennis Lillee bowling to Vivian Richards, who is looking in reasonable touch before the interval. And your commentators are Fred Truman and Bill Laurie.
That's a good delivery. Beats Vivian Richards. The ball moving off the seam, the leg cutter. No ball, and Richards onto the front foot and drives beautifufully through mid-off. No change to the shot whatsoever. The winner giving chase. It's a long run for him, and it beats him into the gutter. 4 runs and a beautiful shot first over after lunch.
Dennis Lillee bowling quite well. He's kicking the ball up there, trying to give it chance to move.
Oh, and what a fine shot that was. The shot of a champion, moving the ball from middle and off through mid-wicket. 4 runs from the moment it left the bat. Glorious shot. Give Richardson full fight after lunch. The end of the over, it's 1 for 78. Fine shot. The back foot cutting behind point. That's 4 more to Vivian Richards. And he's looking very dangerous. 3 glorious shots since the luncheon break.
Gordon Greenidge sweeping that. Ashley Mallett, 4 runs.
It's a bouncer and he's put it away. My word, he can hook this man. Quickly into position and banged it behind square leg. Went like a bullet. Magnificent shot. Sweep and he gets it away. Beats Dennis Woolley at square leg. That's 4 runs. 50 stand in only 53 minutes. Enjoying every minute of this match. Especially when Vivian Richards comes to the crease, the crowd comes alive. Oh dear, what a magnificent shot.
Glorious stroke. Into the Seagulls, way down the far end of the ground.
So Vivian Richards moves on to 36.
Beautiful shot. Magnificent cricket here at the Adelaide Oval.
And he moves on to 40.
Dropped him. Very difficult, but they're the ones that Ashley Mallett has taken. Have to go. Beautifully fielded, and Richards didn't realise for a moment that it was going to the left-handed Dimmock. The right-hander could never have got round and stopped him taking the single, but Dimmock almost had him.
Well, he actually let this one go because it hit with his bad hand. He went to stop it and then took his hand away. Dimmock raced around, picked it up in his left hand, and Vivian Richards really had to move there. He hit those stumps then. Might well have been out. Well, he's going to get 2 for sure. They might try and go for the 3rd. I doubt it. Hughes has got it, and they're going. And that's Vivian Richards.
Another splendid innings from this great player. 50 to Vivian Richards, 40 to Greenidge, 1 for 133. And some delightful strokes again from this man. 8 boundaries, only 60 balls faced, and 20 scoring shots in making 50. Well, perhaps he's not going along so quietly after all, because that was a dynamic stroke.
Pascoe there has bowled 10 overs, 1 for 28. He has the only wicket. That'll be just the one. Dimmock the fielder. Pascoe is bowling to Vivian Richards. And that's a fine shot. Beautifully played down the ground again. Weiner once more is doing the chasing, and he's got a long way to go. They've turned for 3, and it looks as if Greenidge wants the 4th. He's going to get it. Greenidge on to 49, 1 for 152. And that's Gordon Greenidge's 50. And very subdued, but fine knock for his side. Score 1 for 153. Greenidge has his 50. He's certainly turning out to be a marvellous player too. Played some great innings this summer. 4 fours in his 50. Faced 111 balls. It's beautifully played. And it beats the fieldsman out there, and that's 4-2. So Richards goes on to 63. That's a fine delivery. And Pascoe's certainly not very happy, and Vivian Richards taking the mickey. That was a fine ball. Flipping back and going right through the gate.
Mallet continuing to Richards. This has been a decisive spell here for Australia. It looked very much at one stage as if Richards and Greenidge were going to run riot during the afternoon, but they have been checked in the past 4 or 5 overs by Pascoe and Mallet. Well, he's got that through the offside cordon, found the boundary. 4 runs to Richards now, carries him to 68. And that's in the air, but it's gone down very fine indeed, and Dimmock can't get there, and the ball goes into the boundary for 4. He's moved to 54 now, Greenidge. And a no ball from Pascoe, which seems almost inevitable with the bouncers.
Jeff Dimmock, his arms resignedly behind his back, coming in now for his next over.
And that's gone a long way. That's hefted and lifted right out of the ground. Got under that ball and lifted it over backward square leg for the first 6 of the match. Alan Border is going to be brought into the attack to have a bowl. And this man with Richards must feel that he's gone, dragged it in. So Border has got the wicket with his first delivery, dragged it from the under edge. Richards bowled Border for 74.
Well, it really is a sobering thought, isn't it, that that's Vivian Richards' lowest score in the Test series this summer between Australia and West Indies. He's made 386 runs at 96.5. My word, he's given the Australian public a real treat, and he'll give the England public a treat when he's over there with the West Indies side next summer. Full credit to the Australians. In that last 40 minutes before tea, they allowed only 34 runs from 12 overs and Vivian Richards' wicket. 195 for 2 it was in the 5th over after the tea interval. Here's Lilly now coming in that over to bowl to Greenidge. Your commentators are Keith Stackpole and Fred Truman.
No ball, the 21st no ball. This is only the 59th over. Dennis Woolley's not happy with the Australians have bowled 21 no balls. It's unbelievable. Beautiful off drive. Timing that a little bit better, not quite in the middle of the bat, but with tremendous power. 3 more to Gordon Greenidge. He moves to 75. And it's 200 for 2. And the ripple of applause going around the Adelaide Oval. Things are looking very grim. 201 for 2. Greenidge on 75. Kalachurran 2. Oh, and that's out stumped, yes, beaten by flight, well bowled Ashley Mallet, and a beautiful piece of work by Rodney Marsh.
Certainly was. Gordon Greenidge has been a little bit quiet, and he suddenly decided to go down the wicket. Ashley Mallet saw him, gave the ball plenty of air, drifted out with the breeze and beat the outside edge of the bat. Rodney Marsh has got those bails off, doing his war dance. And he dances away with the ball in his hand, appealing. ball just beating the outside edge of the bat on the drift. And the West Indies have lost their third wicket with a score of 213. A stunning ovation there for Gordon Greenidge. He'll be disappointed.
Lawrence Rowe, the batting average of 45. Comes in, is immediately off the mark with a beautifully timed off drive. Went into that, no effort whatsoever. They're looking for 4, they've run for 3. And they're coming back for 4, all run.
His eyes score 302 versus England in 73-4. That was in the West Indies. Oh, what a glorious shot from Kalachiran. Beautifully timed, off the toes. Don't bother, 4 runs. What a beautiful shot that was, Bill.
It's a lovely shot. Kalachiran whipping that ball off the toes to mid-wicket. 4 runs.
Chapel, the fieldsman, and the 250 comes up for West Indies. The loss of 3 wickets. Their lead now is 375. 45 minutes to go on this third day. And this pair have taken the score on by 37 runs in their partnership. That's a super shot. 5 men on the onside, and it wasn't all that bad a delivery, but it was perfectly timed by Lawrence Rowe.
Lifted at right down the ground. It's a good shot. Came down and lifted it straight down the ground for 4 runs. And there's Alvin Kalitran's single, coming for 2 and going for a 3rd run, carrying him now on to 37. Score now on to 3 for 273. And Alvin Kalitran, a significant landmark in his Test career with that shot. Now past 4,000 runs in Test cricket. He's got it through. Long chase here for Hughes. And it's going to be a close thing, but the ball will win. That's 4 runs. Bad ball from Mallet. And Kalitran now moving to 41. Now those West Indians. Gary Sobers, in fact, has got more runs than anyone else from all countries in Test cricket, those 8,032. And then there's a big gap between Kanhai and Lloyd. That's a good shot. This is the second boundary for the over from Kalitran, who is now really going great guns. He's moved on to 47, and the West Indies now at 3 for 285 at the end of the over. It's beautifully played by Rowe. It'll go all the way. That's 4 runs. Well, a long hop has been smacked through mid-wicket by Kalitran, and he moves to 51. First half century of the series. Beautiful timer of the ball is Lawrence Rowe, just to ease that down to backward square, and gets 2 comfortable runs for it. Moves him on now to 43. And that's out. Low caught by Marsh off Dimmock for 43. The West Indies now 4 for 299.
That was a good delivery there from Dimmock. He came in with himself for a few balls, and he really put a bit of extra into this one. This one bounced a bit just outside off stump and found the top edge of the bat as Rowe was attempting to cut it away, and a good catch by Marsh. It came onto him a little bit quicker than he thought it might have done. And so, the end of Lawrence Rowe, the score 4 for 299.
Well, what a great day that was for West Indian cricket. Just 4 runs added from the time Rowe was dismissed to take the total on to 4 for 303, and the overall lead to 428. And I think you can gather from the fact that Colin Croft was sent in as night watchman towards the end instead of a top-class batsman coming in, that Clive Lloyd is looking at a really big total to set the Australians in the 4th innings. And why not? After all, the Australians gave him first use of the pitch, and here they are now. They'll be forced to bat last on it, and it should be turning a little bit and playing at variable heights. A splendid day's play then as far as the West Indians are concerned. They have a lot of wickets in hand. The Australians are in deep trouble, 428 ahead the West Indians. And in the other match being played, England against New South Wales at Canberra, the scores down there at the close of play on the second day, this is the 3-day match, New South Wales 7 for 212 declared and 1 for 113. Andrew Hilditch made 78. He was in the Australian World Cup side in England. England all out for 203. Bob Taylor 47. Derek Randall 44. And young Jeff Lawson, who's fighting for a place in the Australian side, 3 for 55. New South Wales 122 ahead. Well, that match finishes tomorrow. There's no telling when this test match will end, but whenever it does, I think you'll find that the West Indies have hammered the Australians and have won their first test series on Australian soil. Good evening. Good evening and welcome to the highlights of the 4th day's play in the final test match between Australia and the West Indies at the Adelaide Oval. The West Indians poised to win their first ever series in Australia, and what a team they have. Here they are posing in a photograph just before the start of play today, very, very confident that this is going to be their day. They've waited a long time to win a series in Australia, and never will they have a better chance. Well, they started today, the 4th day, at 4 for 303. By the time the 11th over came along, they were 4 for 317. Night watchman Colin Croft is on strike. Lenny Pascoe is the bowler. Your commentators are Tony Cozier and Keith Stackpole.
Croft has got that away very nicely indeed off the toes. This could go all the way for 4. It will. 4 runs to Croft. Played it very neatly off the pads. In fact, he's already scored quite a few of his 11 runs in that area.
The West Indies lead moves on now to 448. Target getting bigger. Oh, and that's a beautiful shot from Kalachurran. Picked it up off his toes. Beautifully timed. Through mid-wicket, 4 more runs.
Clive Lloyd has indicated that he's looking to, first of all, get 500 ahead.
There was nearly a chance to the left hand of Ian Chappell. That second slip position, of course, with the... they're going to take 4 here. Oh, and that must have been pretty close in the finish, but well thrown by Alan Border. It's the end of the over. There's... and that's out, that's the wicket. Short one, Colin Croft trying a hook shot. Very adventurous. And all he could do was get it in the air to Alan Border at mid-wicket.
Well, that was good bowling and good captaincy. This was set up for Croft. The short ball bowled. Border had just been moved out there, and he had to move just a little to his left. Quite a straightforward catch, and that's the end of the night watchman. Colin Croft departs. He made 12. And the score 331. Of course, I believe that Clive Lloyd will come in now.
Oh, and he's missed by Greg Chappell at slip. You don't see that very often. Pretty straightforward catch to a man of the calibre of Greg Chappell, but it's got away. And it's amazing, isn't it, Tony, when your things are going against you, how they keep going.
Well, Clive Lloyd certainly tried to hit that one very hard, and it flew off quite quickly to Chappell's left. He got his hands there right. Got them both there, in fact, and it's gone right through them.
Oh, what a glorious shot there from Kalachirran, just leaning into that, timing it through the gap. Oh, there's the attempted hook shot. He kept it down well. It's giving Dennis Lilly a long chase. I think he might just get there, I don't know. No, he just can't get there. It's another 4 runs. Well bowled, Lenny Pascoe. Beauty. There's another good shot coming from Clive Lloyd this time. It's 3 fours and a single off this over already. Oh dear, he really levered that one. Oh dear. It passed within about half a yard of Alan Border and he had no chance of cutting it off.
Well, that was very close, and for a moment Dennis wasn't going to put the right hand down, and I don't blame him. I don't think it hit on the hand. It looked as though it came off the wrist.
There's the powerful drive from Lloyd, and it was the wrist, going from the wrist onto the stumps, and there was a little bit of hesitation on the part of the umpire there. Mallet around the wicket, straying onto the leg stump, and notice how Kalachirran was quick to tuck that away off his pad. What a very neat shot for 4.
A great shot again. 2 delightful strokes on the onside by Kalachirran in this over, and he goes now to 99. Oh! That was just a little fortunate. 3 runs to Kalachirran, takes him past the 100 mark, and it's been a top-class innings.
Indeed it has. Possibly the only flaw that we've seen in it has been that last shot of his. He attempted that very ambitious cut. The ball so close to his off stump, drifting into him. And he just managed to get that underneath edge on the ball and pick up 3 runs that have taken past the century mark.
It's Dennis Lilly now bowling to him. Great stroke.
And what a sign of confidence. That ball was dead on middle stump, I would say. Just short of a length. And Kalachirran quickly onto the back foot, dispatching it for 4. And there you see the statistics of that rather impressive 100. Sober's way up there at the top, played a long time, of course, and starting his career as an orthodox left-arm spin bowler, blossoming out as a number 6, and really bestriding the cricket world with those 26 centuries. And what a good player Arthur Morris was too, Richard.
There's 4 more to Lloyd. He's just starting to get into stride now. Goes on to 29.5 for 398. It's gone. A replica of the stroke with which he reached his 100, and this time the very good top spinner from Ashley Mallet coming back in with the arm.
And I thought it was a slightly quicker ball. Much too close to Kalachirran, too cut. But you can't blame Kalachirran for going for the stroke. He's now past his 100, 106, and he was obviously going to score off as many balls as he possibly could. And the ball ricocheting there. I don't know whether he hit the ball, whether he hit the stump, or whether the ball, whether he chopped down on his stump. The ball certainly flew off at an angle, Richard.
Kalachirran goes, and warm applause from his own dressing room. 6 for 398. Single to get Murray off the mark. ready out there now. Jeff Dimmock is to be the bowler. And with me in the commentary box is Keith Stackpole. And he goes now to 36.
With tremendous power. West Indian captain really looking to push this scoring rate along. Out, caught down the leg side. Clive Lloyd not happy. Thought it came from the pad, I think. Jeff Dimmock on that leg stump. Clive Lloyd looking to get it down to fine leg. Let's have a look at it. Pitching on middle, going down leg side and hitting that pad on the way through. May have been a little bit of bat there, but up here looked as though it may have been the pad.
Clive Lloyd has made 121 and 40 in what is certainly his last test match in Australia. The great man leaves the ground. A crowd of probably something around about 6,000-7,000 people here. Not as many as when he hit his 121. He walks off the ground. A wonderful player for the West Indies. A wonderful ambassador for the game.
Actually not. And it through the cover area. 4 runs. Nice cover drive then by Derek Murray. Takes his score on to 16.
It's quite safe. It's hit away over mid-off. There's frustration from Mallet, having beaten Roberts and found the pad in the way. Roberts then comes down the pitch and hits him away for 4 to go to 8, and it's 7 for 438.
One of the men who got that vital breakthrough in the first innings, Michael Holding. Had a nice day and a half rest sitting in that dressing room.
And he's gone. Nice catch that. Good piece of cricket there by Bruce Laird. Taking the catch at mid-wicket. Dimmock deserved the success there. Constantly beating Andy Roberts.
It's a just reward for Jeff Dimmock. Persevering, just pegging away. So now the West Indies 8 for 443.
It's Jeff Dimmock, the first ball, and the fatal one as far as Derek Murray is concerned. And Dimmock deserves the success. He's moving the ball a lot off the seam out there. Greg Chappell accepting the catch, it slipped. Derek Murray goes for 28. Of course, Greg Chappell bowled Dimmock. It's 9 for 446.
Very nonchalant catch by Greg Chappell. Just taking an ankle height. Just finding that outside edge, Jeff Dimmock. Just floating straight to Greg Chappell. Catches it inches above the ground. 8 for 446.
Well, it's the first time for this innings, but the second time for the match. A bowler has been on a hat-trick. Andy Roberts was in the Australian first innings. And now the field all clustered around Michael Holding. Everyone in within close catching range as Jeff Dimmock goes for a test hat-trick. And Michael Holding keeps him out.
The Aussies just need one more wicket now to end this innings.
And that's it. That's the innings over. The 5th wicket for Jeff Dimmock. The West Indies are all out for 448.
At lunch, the West Indians had been 409 for 6, and they added another 39 runs after lunch for the loss of those last 4 wickets, all out for 448. Marvellous innings that by Alvin Kalicharan, 106, and Clive Lloyd, 40. Looked as though he might have been just a little bit unlucky there. He was just starting to stroke the ball beautifully after the interval. Derek Murray, 28, his usual consistent self. Roberts, 8, and Holding 1, 448, with the Australians then 574 needed to win the match, and that was well out of the question. Good bowling performance from Jeff Dimmock. He's a big-hearted Queenslander, this fellow. He's had 2 very good years in Test cricket, and today finished with 5 for 104. Well, by the time the Australians had got through the first 3 overs of their innings, they had 8 on the board without loss. Here's Michael Holding now bowling to Bruce Laird. Your commentators are Tony Cozier and Tony Greig.
And that's a bad shot. He is asked for. The umpire has said not out. The West Indies are not at all happy with the decision. Into the covers, they'll have to hurry here. And he's hit the stumps. He's appealed against, and umpire Johnson says not out. One stump at which to aim, and Kelly Tran hit it. And Weena had to be very quick to get in there.
Well, it's all happening, and this was a fine piece of fielding by Alvin Kallicharran. He came in very quickly, picked it up in one hand and threw all in one movement and hit the stumps. And that must have been very close. Weena struggling for his ground there, and so it's all happening out here.
And that's out. Caught behind. Weena caught by Murray off the bowling of Roberts for 8. Australia are 1 for 12.
Ball deflecting a long way off the bat. And again, fine line, a tremendous bit of bowling. He really looks as if he means business out there at the moment.
Just to emphasize the point there.
Oh, and another bouncer. What a good delivery there. That wasn't too short from Andy Roberts. Right up. Bruce Laird taking it on the glove. It's the end of the over. It's now 1 for 17. There he is on this long run-up. Ian Chappell facing. Oh, what a good delivery. That was a real beauty. As Michael Holding comes racing in. It's the bouncer, he goes for the hook shot. We know that Andy Roberts can cut this off. No, he found it 4 runs. And that went very, very fine. And Ian Chappell, of course, has always played the hook shot all his life, so there's nobody can talk about it better than him.
Never bothered me all that much. Coming in at number 3, I expect to get 3 and over, talking in 8-ball over terms. You know, I'd never ever given any thought if a bloke gives me 3 in a row, well, I either just get out of the way of them if I can't hook them, or you know, if I'm playing really well and get a few hook shots away, I look upon it as runs. I've never ever looked upon it as intimidatory bowling.
That's Ian Chappell gone. This is what happened. Michael Holding, the bouncer, tried him again, and he got the top edge through to the wicketkeeper. And just look at Michael Holding there.
Well, Ian Chappell might not have worried about the bouncers or the frequency of bouncers, but he played the hook shot against the ball that was too high. 2 for 21. And there's no doubt in my mind that the quick bowlers of the West Indies will be trying Greg Chappell out with a bouncer.
Well, he's got that 4,500 in Test cricket because he's going to pick up a couple of runs here, at least. Just the 2. So he'll be feeling happy now. He's off the mark and averted the dreaded pair in Test cricket. That is Greg Chappell's 4,500th run in Test cricket. Bruce Laird not out 9. Ian Chappell, the last man to go, caught Murray bowl Holding, attempting to hook a bouncer for 4, and Greg Chappell, not in the first innings, is 2 not out in this second innings. Oh, and that's whistling down the leg side, and Greg Chappell doesn't like that at all. But that's a good shot. And Bruce Laird fetched that 4 runs. Oh, there's an appeal. And it's 1 for 4 overthrows. Hit the stumps, there was an appeal. And that's the second 5 he's got in this match. He got one in the first innings. Michael holding. And the ball hitting the stumps. And that was a very close call. And that's another bouncer that went whistling through Greg Chappell.
And what a good bouncer that was.
Well, what a nasty bouncer that was. I think Andy Roberts has got just about the most devastating bouncer of any of the bowlers around today, although all four of these West Indian pacemen are very, very dangerous if there's any variable bounce, and there is a little bit out there today. But just 2 runs added to take the Australians up to 2 for 40 at the tea interval. Here's Colin Croft now coming into bowl to Greg Chappell in the second over after tea. The score's the same, 2 for 40, and here's Tony Kersier and Fred Truman.
Well hit through extra cover. That's going to run all the way. Kalitran just giving chase to retrieve it from the boundary. Overpitched, and Greg Chappell gave it the treatment. And he's cracked that again, another half volley. And another long chase here for poor Kalitran. This time it won't reach. And the batsman could well run all 4 here. And possibly even take a 5th. We'll be satisfied with the 4 or run. Well, he's being cracked there in a very delicate place in the upper groin. It's a good shot by Greg Chappell to punch a lifting ball off the back foot through extra cover as he did then. Very difficult shot to play. Oh, that's a fine shot. That's 4 runs. Beautifully played, beautifully timed, and it raced to the boundary. And he's chopped that away. 3rd man is vacant, that's 4 runs. Greg Chappell looking to be in very good form now. And he's taken a special liking to Colin Croft since T's now moved 27. And Australia at the end of the over are 2 for 62. Beautifully played. Tipped it nicely off the toes to 4. Back to the square. Confident, well-timed shot carries him now equal with Greg Chappell, 27, and the batsman carrying Australia up to 2 for 66. And that's down to Holding. He takes the catch. It's a no ball. Holding taking the catch down at fine leg, a no ball, saving his innings.
And the crowd loved that.
West Indies do feel that he is vulnerable to the short ball. Over the head of 3rd slip. Rather edgy drive there by Greg Chappell to the boundary for 4.
Some good shots, Greg Chappell, but he's also living dangerously in between.
And there's an appeal. He's gone. Well, that's a fine over from Colin Croft, deserving that wicket there. And Greg Chappell there possibly rattled again by the bouncers, and he goes leg before wicket to Croft for 31.
And that is. He was out LBW, and the ball just about hit the middle and off. And Greg Chappell is gone. The 3rd wicket to fall for Australia. They are now really in trouble at 3 for 71.
And that's dropped. Very low chance indeed by Joel Garner, who seems upset that he's put it down. But he had to get down a very long way at gully. It would have been a sensational catch. And the batsman get a run for it.
He says he's never dropped a catch in his life. Well, now we can prove to him he has. We've actually seen it. Oh, and this has got to be quick. And there's another 4 overthrows. They go for that quick single. And that is a hat-trick of 5s for Bruce Laird. Here's Colin Croft to continue. Still bowling round the wicket to the right-hander. An attempted bounce, so that didn't get up. Kim Hughes taking that in the ribs. It's hurt him a little bit as he walks around.
Good shot. Got it away to the boundary. And that's 4 runs. Well played by Bruce Laird. The fat shot brings him a boundary to carry him to 36. At the end of the over, Australia 3 for 82. He's gone out, leg before wicket. Garner strikes. Laird, leg before for 36. And 4 for 83. The Australian score.
Well, the position worsens for Australia as the day goes on. That ball coming back off the seam, beating the defensive bat. They go. The appeal of LBW, and Max O'Connell says that's out. Bruce Laird, the 4th wicket to go down. He's made 36. The total is 83 for the loss of 4 wickets.
Way in the air. Birds scatter once again, and it's 4 runs to Alan Border. Tough way to get off the mark, but managed it on the border stand away there alongside High Mum.
So it's Colin Croft to resume. And 3 run up. Going to the side now to angle the ball in.
He's got it away through cover, and it will be 4 runs.
And Joel Garner bowling into the breeze from the cathedral end, the northern end. And Kim Hughes awaiting him. Oh, and that was a nasty one. Oh, it really was a typical Garner delivery.
Joel Garner has picked up another wicket there. Kim Hughes, LBW for 11, and Australia now 5 for 98. Drinks are coming out.
Hughes, surprised by the ball keeping down a little bit, I think expecting that ball to go a long way down the leg side and miss leg stump. An opinion which umpire O'Connell did not share. He seemed to think that ball was hitting the leg stump. As you can see, the angle was pretty pronounced, and Hughes was not too pleased as he left the crease. 5 for 98.
Here's Colin Croft, and it's the other left-hander who's on strike. Border on 4. Just enough pace there for Alan Border to pick up 2 runs. Goes to 6. $100 comes up in Australia. And he's out. Caught Gordon Greenwich. Alan Border is out. Caught Gordon Greenwich off the bowling of Andy Roberts.
Well, that is a quick delivery, and it went away from him slightly. Border trying to cut again. One was short. I think perhaps an attempted bounce. It tucked him up a little bit, hit very high on the bat, and went quite quickly to Gordon Greenwich. He didn't catch it cleanly. It bobbed up in the air, and of course, as it came down, he wrapped his hands around it.
New batsman, Dennis Lilly. Oh, and a nasty delivery from Andy Roberts. Looks as though there may have been a score there to settle Tony.
So it's Croft to Lilly.
And he's out. Caught Kelly Turan in the covers. Colin Croft perhaps outthinking Dennis Lilly on that occasion.
Well, Rodney Marsh played a maiden, the last over of the day from Andy Roberts. The score stays 7 for 131. Australia deep in trouble. They have no chance of getting out of this match. The only thing that could save them from being beaten would be a downpour tomorrow, one lasting around about 6 or 7 hours. So the West Indians, quite rightly, poised to win their first ever series in Australia. They've outplayed the Australians and done wonderfully well with bat, ball and in the field. Good evening and welcome to the highlights of the final day's play at the Adelaide Oval. This is the final test match of the 3-match series between Australia and the West Indies. Australia commencing the day at 131 for 7 in an impossible position. Those 7 wickets that went down so quickly yesterday, condemning them to a loss in this series. Here's how they went down, 1 to 7. There's movement there off the seam, a good delivery that. Weiner just playing away outside off stump. He didn't play it badly, in fact. There's not very much else he could have done than play defensively and try and get behind it. Then Ian Chappell, I'm pretty certain that that was an edge, and then the helmet. Seemed to me, as you look at that shot from behind, that the ball certainly comes off the helmet and then through to Derek Murray. So probably 2 sounds there, top edge and helmet. Ian Chappell gone for 4, Weiner having gone for 8. There's Greg Chappell, LBW. Remarkable delivery that to cut back so far from that angle around the wicket. 31 to Greg Chappell. There's Bruce Laird. LBW to Joel Garner. Garner finishing with 2 wickets. And Kim Hughes also LBW to Garner. Kim Hughes made 11. That wicket fell at 98. It was the 5th one of the Australians to go down. And there's the back view of Joel Garner having Kim Hughes LBW. That ball cut back a long, long way. And then Alan Border having battled along for 24. He's got plenty of courage, this lad. A little bit too close there, and Gordon Greenidge at the 2nd attempt, taking the catch alongside Clive Lloyd, his skipper. And finally, the 7th wicket to go down was that of Dennis Lilly. Lilly batting at the city end. Colin Croft was the bowler, and Kalitcharan took quite a simple catch out at cover. Border and Marsh put on 32, Laird and Greg Chappell 50. And it's 7 for 131. So that wicket of Lilly's at 131 for 7 brings us to today's play. Just 3 wickets to fall, Marsh is on 9, and Dimmock no score. No salvation for the Australians as regards rain. It's a beautiful sunny day, conditions are good, no charge for admission, just a small crowd on hand to see the last rites of this test match. Michael Holding is the bowler in the first over, Dimmock is on strike, and your commentators Tony Cozier and Keith Stackpole.
Well fielded, and that could have been out. If that return had hit the stumps, that would have been a dismissal. Brilliant bit of fielding there by Kalitcharan, but he couldn't quite get the accuracy on the throw to get Rodney Marsh. Marsh backing up by a long way. Brilliant pick up by Kalitcharan, but the throw was awkward and he couldn't get it in to run him out.
Michael Holding take up the attack from the Cathedral end. Figures of 1 for 22. 68 test wickets. Very good average, 24.26. That was a good delivery from Holding, digging into the body of Jeff Dimmock. In fact, that is a similar delivery to the one that Dennis Lilly got on the fingers in the first innings.
And that's gone. Viv Richards takes the catch. Holding grabs another wicket. And a wicket for him there as Australia now lose their 8th wicket for 135.
Beautiful delivery, this from Michael Holding, and Jeff Dimmock just guiding it into the safe hands of Viv Richards at 3rd slip. So Australia now 8 wickets down for 135. Straight into the Safe hands of Viv Richards. 8 for 135, Australia.
So Ashley Mallet gets his first run in Test cricket for 4 seasons. Didn't score in the first innings and now gets 2. So it's now 8 for 137.
Last man out, Jeff Dimmick. First of Australian wickets to fall today. These 3 that the West Indies are after. Good snappy catch by Viv Richards.
And that's a good shot. Hammered it through mid-off, scattering the seagulls, and a long chase here for Kalichan. The batsman will have ample time to run 4. Kalichan's return is on the way. So 4 all run by Rod Marsh on the longest straight boundary of any test ground in the world. We've seen several shots like that produce all-run 4s in this match. Roberts. Now to resume to Marsh. Marsh has got 17, and Roberts wants Desmond Haynes to drop back from that short leg position. So here we go now with Haynes back.
Tony, and one of the things that's impressed me about these West Indian bowlers this summer is, as Roberts did then, he asked for Desmond Haynes to be dropped back for Rodney Marsh, and all of the West Indian bowlers always looking for a field alteration. They're not frightened to ask their captain Clive Lloyd to make a move, and they're always continually thinking about the game.
Oh, that's a fine shot. That's a beautiful shot by Marsh. That really is the old-time Rod Marsh, and that's 4 runs. Turn very nicely off the pads. That's been getting 2 here. So Rodney Marsh now moves on to 23. 8 for 155. And he's hammered that through mid-on, leaning into it and really hitting it very hard down the ground for 4 runs. Love 15.
I think he was looking for the bouncer. No fast ball likes to be hit straight for 4, and Michael Holding now off the short run.
And he's bowled him. Holding picks up the wicket there with the most unorthodox of shots from Mallet. Bowled by Holding for 12, 9 for 159.
Ball fairly short, but didn't get up quite as much as Ashley Millett thought, and just tickling that off stump on the way through. It's the 9th wicket down now, the Australians. This is the moment, Tony, the West Indies have been waiting for all summer. This last Australian wicket to fall. 9 for 159.
And some very neat footwork by Michael Holding. When he fielded that ball, kicked it back up and caught it. Pascoe gets off the mark. And the 150 is on the board for Australia. In fact, 160. The board now ticking over to 160. 9 for 160. Holding. Now to Pascoe. Pascoe indulging himself a bit there. A good straight drive right down the ground. Perhaps didn't time it as he wanted, but nevertheless gets 2 runs.
Pascoe.
And he's got that away through mid-wicket. More runs here for Pascoe. He'll get another 2, carrying him to 5. And Australia now 9 for 165. And that's the end of the match. The West Indies have won this test match by 408 runs, the biggest victory in any test between the two countries, and they have won the series by 2-0. The first time any West Indian team has won a test series in Australia. 38 minutes into this fifth day, the West Indies have concluded what will be a satisfying victory for them, and this is how they did it.
Michael Holding capturing his 4th wicket of the innings, bowling Len Pascoe to wrap up what great victory for the West Indies. With Richards there just trying to kick the ball away, but full credit to Clive Lloyd and his men that played the Australians, and tremendous bunch of cricketers, great bunch of fellows, liked by all Australians, play cricket in the right fashion, get on with the game, and certainly their fast bowlers and the batting of Gordon Greenidge and Viv Richards have thrilled crowds right around Australia this summer, and it's been a tremendous series. And as Clive Lloyd walks up that aisle, I'm sure he's very satisfied indeed.
That's it then, 165 all out, the Australians, and the biggest ever victory for West Indies over Australia, 408 runs, a massive margin that, and well deserved by Clive Lloyd's team, who have played so well. Rodney Marsh remained not out there, but the story of the morning is with the West Indian bowlers and how well they bowled. Andy Roberts, 15 overs, 5 maidens, 2 for 30. Michael Holding, 13 overs, 2 maidens, 4 for 40. Joel Garner, 11 overs, 3 maidens, 2 for 39. And Colin Croft, 11 overs, 1 maiden, 2 for 47. A tremendous performance by those 4. As they say in the West Indies team, why do you need to play a spinner when you have 4 pace bowlers who can do the job for you in that regard? Well, after the match, the presentations were made to the winning captain, Clive Lloyd, and the losing skipper, Greg Chappell. Here's Tony Grigg with them now.
Clive, is this your greatest moment?
I would think one of the greatest moments, really, because I would think the World Cup, winning it for the first time, was a tremendous achievement. This too got, you know, a bit of pride in winning this, and I think that the team too has been wanting to hold this trophy for some while, actually, and I'm proud to be leader of them. And, you know, they're a wonderful bunch of fellas, and I'm glad for them too, actually.
What is the key to this side of yours? I mean, there are lots of great players, and what do you think really has been the key to the tremendous way in which you've won the series, the first time you've ever won in Australia?
I think Greg summed it up pretty well the other day when he made a statement in the press saying that somebody was saying, well, you're looking to get Vivian Richards out. He said, well, we might get Vivian Richards out and somebody else might come and make some runs or get wickets. So, you know, it's a combination of the team, I suppose. We've got quite a few magnificent players, great ones, and, you know, and they play well as a team. You know, we've molded ourselves into a very fine unit in the last couple of years, and they're more professional in their outlook.
Obviously, we would like to have done better, but we were in a situation, particularly in the second innings, where we knew we couldn't win the game, we couldn't win the series, we couldn't even save the series. Very hard to really get fired up in a situation like that. So, you know, I would have hoped that had the situation been different, we would have played better, and certainly in the second innings anyway.
The awards for the man of the match went to Clive Lloyd, the man of the series to Vivian Richards, and that's another one for this great batsman. He was also man of the series in the Benson Hedges World Series Cup games, those limited over fixtures where the West Indies won the best of 3 finals. Well, there's always argument about what constitutes a great cricket team, whether the 1948 side was the greatest ever known in the history of the game, whether the 1921 side could match it. But this West Indian team out here in Australia this year will take some beating, I can tell you. It stacks up against anything I've ever seen. Certainly it compares more than favourably, in my opinion, with the West Indian side of 1960-61, that tied test series, and who better to talk to us about that than Tony Cozier.
Well, I think first of all, one has to say that they were very great teams, whereas the 1979-80 team has the emphasis very much on fast bowling. I think, as you can see there, the 1960-61 team had only one great fast bowler, and that was Wes Hall in it. And Wes Hall had to carry a lot of work during that series. Chester Watson, who was a pretty quick bowler himself, played in only one test in that series, and the result was that even though Wes Hall created quite an impression in the first 2 or 3 test matches, he tended to go downhill afterwards. And I think he got something like 18 wickets in the first 2.5 Test matches, and then after that got no more than 5 or 6. I would say there that the comparison with the batting is just about even. Jerry Alexander, of course, late in the order there, had a tremendous series in 1960-61. I would swap one of those fast bowlers on the right-hand side, 79-80, don't ask me which one, for either Lance Gibbs or Valentine from the 1960-61 series, and I reckon you'd have a perfect attack.
What about putting Watson in the side and perhaps pushing Frank Worrell up the list? You could leave out Cammy Smith from that side, I suppose.
I suppose you could, and he was left out on one occasion in that series. Hunt, Canhigh, Sobers opening the batting with Solomon. That would have been a tremendous team. But I think one also has to say that the 1960-61 team, which lost here 2-1, was playing against a stronger Australian team, not wanting to embarrass you in any way, than this one here.
You won't embarrass me, you'll make me feel good. But, well, I think perhaps stronger in batting. We had a batting side that went right down the list there. Davidson used to come in at 7. I came in at 8, and Kenny Mackay at 9, and Wally Grout at 10. So it was a pretty good batting side, and I think that is a weakness in the present Australian side.
Yes, as has been shown by the scores in this series.
Let's just come back to that 60-61 side again for a moment. I think it's fair to say that one of the reasons Chester Watson couldn't play in all the matches was that Frank Worrell had to play. He was skipper, and therefore he took the new ball. There was no other place for him to play other than batsman and new ball bowler, and therefore there was no place for Watson.
I would say 60-61, if Clive Lloyd was the captain of that team, he would have had Chester Watson in the side. I think nowadays the emphasis seems to be so much on pace that he would have opted to have left out one of those spinners, great as they were, Gibbs and Valentine, and to have given Wes Hall the opportunity of having someone at the other end who was pretty quick. And, you know, I think Hall would have appreciated someone like Watson at the other end.
It must be a strength, too, that those 4 fast bowlers in this current side are all different types.
That's right. Tremendous variety there. You've got Michael Holding, who glides so beautifully in and relies on pace and accuracy. The variation of Andy Roberts, then Big Joel Garner coming at you from a height of about 10 feet, or what seems like 10 feet. Yeah. And then, of course, Colin Croft, who is the most interesting of the lot, I think, in this series, has had a tremendous series. And he's the 4th of the fast bowlers, and he has been in there with them and getting the wickets all the way through. I think with 4 fast bowlers there, that Clive Lloyd has worked them so well, has spread the workload between them all the way through the series. And I haven't looked at it, I haven't got the statistics at my fingers, but I would imagine that there wouldn't have been more than 20 overs between the 4 of them over the 3 Test matches in this series. 2 questions. I know what my answers are, but we'll come back to that a little later on. Which was the better of those 2 sides, and which side would you prefer to play against? Well, I think on both scores, I would have to say that the 1978-79 team would have been better, and I think that most opponents would rather play against the 1960-61 side, try to get off Wes Hall as quickly as possible, and then, of course, it's plain sailing as far as batting is concerned. When I say plain sailing, I mean against the fast bowling, of course. This one,
a relative thing, yeah.
This one, of course, there was no such thing. You were always under pressure. There was always pace coming at you, and always fresh pace.
Thank you, Tony. Well, you'll have to make up your own minds about the worth of this West Indian side, but you certainly have 2 men here who think that it's the greatest side from the Caribbean ever to come to Australia. After the match, I spoke with the 2 captains. First of all, the losing skipper, Greg Chappell. Greg, how good do you rate this West Indies side?
I'd say they're definitely the best West Indian side that I've played against, Rich. I go so far as to say that they're probably the best team that I've played against in Test cricket.
Is that simply because of the pace bowling or the all-round strength?
I think the all-round strength. The pace bowling obviously is very important to their side. The fact that they've got 4 quick bowlers of that ability, but backed up with their fielding, and the fact that they're able to keep the fieldsmen in the catching positions for the best part of the day in attacking position. And their batting, I think, you know, a lot of people have talked about what Richards has done this season. He's played magnificently. You know, I don't think anyone could play much better than he's played this season. But you get rid of a player like that, and you've got the likes of Gordon Greenidge. Desmond Haynes hasn't had a great season, but he and Gordon have got them away to a good start most times, which obviously helps Viv in his job. But then Alvin Kalachurran, very
almost an unnoticed player in the West Indian side. Different sort of West Indian player from the other guys. He's not the aggressive, hard-hitting player, but a very, very talented batsman. Lawrence Rowe, similar sort of player, more of a touch player than some of the other guys. And then, of course, Clive, who finished up in this Test match in Adelaide, playing so very well.
What about the difficulty in facing a pace attack, four-man strong anyway, but such a varied style?
Yes, they're all different. I suppose Michael Holding is the only one that you would consider that's got the classical orthodox sort of action. The others are a bit different. Andy's a bit different. He's a bowler of uses the back shoulder. It's all sort of arm and shoulder in the delivery stride. Colin Croft, of course, is a little bit different again, where he gets very open and very wide, comes in from a very wide angle. And then Joel Garner, so tall, very accurate, gets a tremendous amount of bounce. I think Australia would probably, without having spoken to him about it and asked him the question, I would have thought that Australia would be the place that he would enjoy bowling more than anywhere else.
What about the difference in success for Australia in the limited over and Test matches this year? You've knocked off England 2-0. Both games were reasonably close, but you beat them conclusively in the end. And yet you've gone down to the West Indies 2-0, and in the limited overs, England did you again, but you were up with the West Indies.
Yeah, we haven't played consistently well enough throughout the season. The only two games I suppose you could pinpoint would be the two Test matches against England, where they have been very close games, and I think we've played particularly well under pressure in those games. We've done well. The one-day games, 3 wins out of 4 against the West Indians was a very good effort. We should have beaten England on at least 2 occasions, and I think more than anything else, whilst you can look at our batting and you can look at our bowling, I think the thing that's let us down as much as anything else throughout the summer has been our fielding. And I think in the 2 close games that we had with England, we could well have won those, batting and bowling as we did, had we fielded better.
What about the Test on Friday against England? You're 2-0 in the series, but I've known these final Test matches, even when the series is decided, to be wonderful games of cricket and a lot of pressure on the players for a variety of reasons.
Yes, everybody has got a different reason to want to do well. Obviously, the England side will be very keen to win the last Test match. We obviously, on the other hand, would be very keen to win it. In the quickest way we can forget about the fact that the West Indians have beaten us in the Test series this summer is to beat England again on Friday and win that series 3-0. But certainly, if we walk away from that series having won it 2-0, I think we can be very happy with with the season. We've been beaten by the West Indians, but I don't think that it's any disgrace to have been beaten by a side like that.
Clive, how highly do you rate this West Indian side?
I would think it's probably one of the best that we've produced for quite some while, actually. I think what they've got over the others, that it's a bit more professional in their outlook, actually. And
do you think the strength really comes solely from the pace bowling, or are the other departments as strong as anything you've seen?
Yes, I would think it's the all-round strength, actually. You look at the batting, we've got some we've got some very good players. And then we have to look at the bowling. We've got 4 of the best fast bowlers around, I think, and they're nearly all in par. But I think, too, people have to realize our catching over the years have been better than it's ever been, really. In the slips area, we've taken probably more than 90% of our catches, which is, I think, this is the main thing about our fast bowlers doing so well.
Is that it seems to be the thing that if you have a quick bowling attack, even if it's only 2 great fast bowlers, if you back it up with good catching, then you're halfway there.
Yeah.
Just put yourself in the position of, let's say, the Australians, but also the England batsmen in this series you're coming up for in England. Take the Australians now. How difficult do you think it's been for them?
For the English players, I would think that what they should have done is probably try some of the other chaps that they've brought over here, actually. You have a fellow like Graham Stevenson, who's a pretty good bowler. You've got Larkins, and he probably didn't play for something like, over a month, you know. I thought that they could have given him a chance and sort of blood him for probably, when we play England. Because I don't think Mike Hendricks and Bob Willis will be around for, that long, actually. But they've left quite a few good players back in England. I think there's a chap called Cook from from Northampton. I think he's probably one of the best players in England. And I thought he should have been here, really. But playing in England, they've got so many players to choose from, I suppose, and that are, accustomed to the English conditions. I'm sure that they'll find someone to, or a good team to sort of give us a tough time.
What about the personal situation you're faced with now? Are you going to keep playing?
Yes, I think the century here just sort of made me think about it a bit more. I don't think I will overstay my welcome, but I'll play as long as I keep enjoying it.
Well, there's some interesting thoughts from the two captains in this series between Australia and West Indies. Well, while the series has been going on, and the one between Australia and England, plus the Benson Hedges World Series Cup games, with the three sides concerned, we've been running a list of what we call classic catches here on the Nine Network in Australia. We had 25 catches that were judged by the panel to be outstanding, and we reduced them down to 8. There's some top-class fielding here. We're just about to show you those 8. They're numbered from A to H, and the competition runs in Australia in each of the 6 Australian states, and the prize in each state is a motor car, a General Motors Gemini Holden, and that's a pretty good prize. The same prize in each state in the Commonwealth of Australia. And what you have to do is put those 8 catches in the same order as you think the commentary panel has put them. Those votes are sealed in the safe at TCN 9 in Sydney at the moment. So 8 catches. Don't bother, please, writing to me and sending me your entries, but we just thought that you might have a few friends in Australia or relatives, and you might like to give them a little bit of assistance in this competition. Here they are, A to H, the classic catches of 1979-80 in Australia. Oh, what a marvellous catch. Really was a super piece of cricket there from Gordon Greenidge.
It's in the air again. What a magnificent catch. That man, Derek Randall. What a catch. You just can't keep him out of the game, can you?
What a pearler of a catch. Andy Roberts just chipping it away on the onside. We see Derek Randall diving not only sideways but behind him and crashing to the ground and holding on to it.
Magnificent catch. What a great catch by Vivian Richards. Magnificently taken.
There's dismissal again. And this will have to go into the record book, I think, certainly into our catches of the series.
It's well hit. And well caught. David Hooks, the substitute fieldsman, and he may well have done his hamstring again in taking that catch. It was a superb catch, but it might prove very costly for the Australians.
He's taken it. What a magnificent catch by Ian Botham. Superbly taken. Even Felix around is applauding the catch.
Felix around hitting that on drive, that straight drive, very hard indeed. Ian Botham following through, which is always very difficult. Keeps his eye on the ball and lunges with that left hand outstretched and grasps a tremendous catch.
Oh, what a great catch. What a start. A really super catch there from Kim Hughes, who got into the match yesterday with 99 and now has taken a marvellous catch.
And notice how this ball's going down. And look at that late reaction from Hughes, who just manages to get a hand underneath it just as the ball is about to hit the ground.
Oops, that could be out. That is out. That's his 100th Test wicket and a vital one. Well bowled, Derek Underwood.
And what a brilliant piece of fielding that was. A quicker ball that really rebounded very, very rapidly off Chappell's pads, and Botham was there to snap up the catch.
Tries to get that away, could be out, dive forward and takes a magnificent catch. Desmond Haynes coming forward full strength, and that's the end of Ian Botham.
Well, we've seen some top-class fielding here today. Ian Botham going for the hook shot, getting it high on the bat, and Desmond Haynes absolutely airborne.
Right, well, they really are 8 top catches. As I say, please don't send entries from overseas. No overseas entries are accepted, but if you want to get on the telephone or use the telex machine or send a letter to your friends out here, you may be of some assistance to them. Just a reminder then, West Indies victorious in this final test match by 408 runs, their first ever victory in a series in Australia. A tremendous performance by Clive Lloyd and his men. They're a great side, and the Australians, having had problems here for 5 days at the Adelaide Oval, now go into the final test of the Australia-England series at the Melbourne Cricket Ground on Friday. We look forward to having you with us then. The highlights of that first day's play will be with you on Friday night. Good night.